This Once Human guide is all about gardening in Phase 1, which is the first week of a new server launch. So I'm going to be covering mostly how to automate gardening, the mechanics of how gardening works and what you should and shouldn't do, but also most importantly, and this is the one that everyone's going to love, is the locations of all like the materials that you can grow, the fastest way to get them, and the easiest places to get them. Let's get straight into it. So let's start off with the mechanics first before I teach you how to automate it and automate it really well. So in order to make a garden, you will open your mimetic menu, and then you have a complete and an entire section of gardening, which is going to be under logistics. You'll have to learn stoves and dishes first. From dishes 1, you can branch off to planting. And then you have what's called loamy soil. You have compost bins, which I'm going to tell you right now, for Phase 1, you do not need a compost bin. It's still really nice to get one, though, this early, so you'll be ready for Phase 2. This guide will only be covering Phase 1, though, for now. Then you have planter boxes, which, again, aren't really that useful for Phase 1. You could use these, but you're not going to get any deviation hits in Phase 1. And then you have fertilizers, which again, you're not going to be using in Phase 1, so don't worry about fertilizers, planter boxes, or compost bins. You can go ahead and learn them because you'll have plenty of points to do so, but all you really need to focus on is the loamy soil. So how do you craft a loamy soil? All you need is spoiled food and boiled water. Well, I'm hoping that you know how to boil water, but you just go get any kind of dirty water. You take it to any stove or camp, and then you just simply boil it. That is the easiest way to make boiled water. If you have a regular stove, you'll need wood, I believe, to boil it. Now, spoiled food. How do you get spoiled food? All you have to do is any kind of food or item that you pick up as you're adventuring around the game world that has an expiration, just let it expire in your inventory. Or, better yet, just put it in a chest and forget about it. It'll spoil over time. Some things take 3 to 4 real-life hours to spoil. And I'm going to show you one of the best ways to get a lot of spoiled food early, and that's with blueberries. Now, you'll see that this is a nice little blueberry garden. And let's just talk about the mechanics of the loamy soil. Now, I can only put 250 of these down per account. And because this game is free, and because you can play it on Steam, you can technically run multiple accounts. There is a base down here, and this is 1 account, that's 2 accounts, 3 accounts, 4 accounts, and then there's a base over here that's not rendering in, but it's 5 accounts. And then, yeah, so that's 5 accounts worth of bases. Now, those don't have gardens. Those have salt stoves set up. That's a whole separate video. But essentially, if you really, really, really want to min-max your gardening, you're going to need multiple accounts. I'm going to go over more of that in the mechanics section later, especially for deviants. But essentially, all you got to do is to place a loamy soil, you go to your build menu, you go to facilities, you scroll down to gathering, you take your loamy soil, and then you just find a spot where it's blue, which is a little bit hard because I have this entire area covered. Let's just delete a few of these here. Yeah, don't worry. It's fine. I get all the materials back, and we'll put down a loamy soil. So when you have a loamy soil put down, now I have this thing here called a grow shroom. I'm going to go over this in a bit, but when you have a loamy soil put down, it's going to ask you what seed do you want to plant, and then how do you want to water it. Now the game is going to tell you you're going to have a lighting meter here and an irrigation meter. So let's talk about that real quick. It's real simple. All you need to do for lighting in Phase 1 is nothing. There is no light source that you can put down that will help this. These little like blue, green, red, yellow lights, whatever, those do not help your plants. The only light that helps your plants is the sun. So how do you min-max that? Well, I'm on a cliff. There's no trees around. There's no mountains around. That's how you min-max the sun, all right? That's pretty much it. If you make a base in a jungle or near a bunch of trees, the shade will affect how often your plants get sunlight, and so you want to make it as high as possible in an area that rains as much as possible. Now, let me talk about natural rain. So the most rain that you're going to get is right here on the East Coast. This island, it's literally called the Wetlands for a reason, guys. Dayton Wetlands, the starter zone, has more rain, way more rain than up north, the Iron River, and especially this deserty red sands. That's Phase 2. But, like, dude, by the time phase 2 happens, you have irrigation anyway. You can build in a desert. You just can't naturally build in a desert. So anywhere in the Dayton wetlands has way more rain. What is that? That's disco. Okay, I don't need that. But I recommend beach areas for a few reasons. Beaches are a very good source of food. For instance, this is seaweed and this is shellfish. You mine these for stone. You let the shellfish and the seaweed decay in your inventory. That's spoiled food. And another thing, too, is as you're out mining, you can use your compost bins and fill them just completely with shellfish and seaweed, and they'll turn into fertilizer for phase 2. Very good to have, but you don't need it in phase 1. So, and I'll go over what this guy is, too, in just a bit. But you take your seed, and you'll plant the seed, and then you need to water it. Now, this guy's already watering it for me. Again, I'm going to go over that in a bit. But for phase 1, you do not have to worry about pure water or boiled water. Just dump dirty water into these bad boys. It will pollute the dirt after 2 real-life days. After 2 to 3 real-life days, your soil will become what's called heavily polluted. So let me show you what that is. So when your soil is heavily polluted, it loses 30 vitality. Vitality is the seed and harvest yield of your plant. Now, if it has a poor yield, you still get your seed back, and you get 1 to 2 plants. So it's still better than yoinking it in the world, right? Now, if you have vitality anywhere from about 40 to 70, you get 5 times the yield and 1 to 2 seeds. It also grows faster. So how do you deal with heavy pollution? How do you get rid of that? All you got to do to deal with heavy pollution is simply destroy the loamy soil and place it back down, and it will no longer be heavily polluted. So I just placed this down, and these things are a little too fast. They even pushed me out of the way. They're like, get out of the way. Let us handle this. And so what you have to do to maintain a garden is delete all your plants every 2 real-life days, and that's how you get rid of heavy pollution. Now, about watering them too. Let's talk about watering the plants, just in case you don't know. Different seeds have different watering values. And the way water works is, over time, even if it is raining constantly and you're getting lucky with lots of rain, this irrigation meter will constantly drain down. So if I just take any water, you can see that I'm adding irrigation here with this notch. And for blueberries, you just want to max it out because it's going to be in the blue as long as possible. Having it in the yellow, the game will tell you, oh, that's bad, but it's still good enough to grow the maximum yield. So gardening is not really that complicated, or hell, it's not even really that time. It's not a big time sink either. Now, let's talk about automating these bad boys. And yeah, so when you want to automate your garden, there's 2 things you'll need, and I'm going to tell you where to get them, how to get them, and what they do. So the first thing to automating your garden is, and you don't really need these guys if you want to maintain 200 plants all on your own, you can absolutely do so, but these guys are called grow shrooms. And how do you get them, where do you get them, what do they do? Let's go over what they do first. So a grow shroom is a deviant that you put in a cage, and what they'll do is you can put a seed in this top slot, which they will automatically plant when there is an available space to plant them. They will then harvest and maintain your plants. And the coolest thing here, as you can see, I just opened this menu. These blueberries have 3 hours and 59 minutes until they decay. My favorite thing about the grow shroom is that as long as you don't open their cage, the blueberries or whatever it is you're growing will never decay. So you can stock up 999 or even thousands, actually. I think it's 9,999 is the cap. I don't know the cap of a product. And then when you open their cage, that's when the timer starts, so you can use it to craft, you can use it to store stuff. It's really, really, really good. So you can see here that this guy has 64 blueberries. I'm going to yoink that. He also had 17 seeds on him. And what I can do is I can withdraw the seeds here. There we go. And then I can deposit the seeds back in. And look at that. I have 200 extra seeds for him now. And so anytime that a plant matures to full maturity, the grow shroom will immediately appear next to the plant and yoink it, put it back in the cage. Then he's going to teleport back, plant another plant, and then he does like I don't know, he's just kind of chilling, right? He's just like petting the plant. And so with 200 of these plants, one grow shroom will absolutely run out of energy and not be able to maintain it. So I have 3 of them, and I'll tell you how to get them in a sec. Right? It's really simple and easy to get. You don't even need high skill rating ones. I feel like the skill and activity rating does not matter at all, even with bad perks like max deviant power -10. Dude, don't worry about their levels. Just having 3 of them, regardless of power level, is more than enough to maintain every single build slot. You can see at the top of my build screen, 246 out of 250 facilities. I had 250 before filming. And I'll tell you where to get this bad boy in just a sec, but there's one other piece of the puzzle, because unless you want to constantly go and get dirty water and manually water these every 6 hours, that's right, in order to maintain proper irrigation on even the easiest plant, which the blueberry is the easiest plant to grow in the game, and that's why I have all these blueberries, you have to manually open these up and pour bottles of water to maintain the irrigation every 6 hours. And now, technically, these blueberries, you don't even have to water them, but it will just, instead of growing every 1 hour, they will grow every 4 to 5 real-life hours. So if you don't water them, you're getting 5 times less yield, essentially. But we have the Rain Man, and the Rain Man, he hovers over the plants, and he cries over them, and it waters them to the perfectly middle amount. So, like this plant right here, it is getting irrigated to the point where it will be exactly in the middle of the blue bar. So you can plant the most complicated plants ever, and the Rain Man will take care of the irrigation. Now, if you're doing the irrigation yourself, if in order to reset the irrigation, so for instance, let's say I water this up all the way, and then after blueberries are done growing, I put down saffron. Saffron is very hard to sweet spot. Well, this plant's plot, this loamy soil, will still be mostly irrigated up here. In order to reset this, I have to remove the plant and then the soil and put it back down and then re-water it. But the Rain Man will water it exactly to what the plant needs, and so that's not worried. So how do we get grow shrooms, and how do I have 3 of them? I'm going to talk about that now. So you'll see here that I am on the character Swolbenji on YT. The owner is me right here. This one is owned by, come on, show up. There we go. Owner, Swolbenji Alt. This one is owner, Swolbenji Alt 2. Now, what I have determined is that I believe, and I'm not 100% certain on this, is that you can only have 1 grow shroom per character. Here's how to get the grow shroom, okay? In Phase 1, the best way to get a grow shroom is, I'm going to open my map and show you all the landmarks. South, all the way down south, near what is called the Sunbury Middle School, there's a teleport tower, so we're going to teleport to that tower. And near this teleport tower, there is a secret kind of hidden mushroom cave. And now, as far as I know, as of this recording, after playing for several hundred hours and talking to at least 20 different people that played beta for also several hundred hours, this cave, right next to it, is literally southeast of the teleport tower. There's like a hole in the ground. You jump in the hole, and this place has more mushrooms than anywhere else in the game. And you're just going to continue to walk west while in this cave and just pick up all the mushrooms in the cave. Now, here's how the grow shroom works. The grow shroom is a random chance to be acquired when picking up mushrooms. Now, when I say that you're only allowed 1 per account, I mean that through testing. So here's what I've done. On my main character, I have harvested 2 to 3 hours worth of mushrooms and only ever gotten 1 grow shroom. But every time I do this, without a grow shroom, I will acquire the grow shroom in about my first 2 to 3 minutes in this cave. I just run through, get the mushrooms. It'll just tell me that I got a grow shroom. Also, this is not silver. This is not mineable. Don't think that I'm walking past a bunch of silver. It's purely decorative silver. I know, it's really disappointing. Look at all that. I wish this was mineable silver, but no. This is just a weird little cave, and there's lots of mushrooms. And there's lots of other stuff in here, too. And we'll go over that in just a little while in the 3rd section of the video, where I tell you all the best places to gather different materials. But you're just going to run through the cave and grab all the mushrooms, and they respawn pretty quickly. So you can actually double back and run back the way you came and grab more mushrooms. This is also, again, my favorite place to get mushrooms later on for Phase 2 for fertilizers and deviant mushrooms, so that you can force certain crops to be deviants. I'll talk maybe about that in a separate video, but again, you can't really force deviations in Phase 1. And that's whenever your crops are growing like a spooky evil color, and they have extra little features when you make food. But anyway, so what you do is once you've acquired a grow shroom by picking up mushrooms, you have to log into an alternate Steam account, have your other character also run and do the same thing and pick up mushrooms until they get a grow shroom, because like I've said, I've spent hours on one character harvesting mushrooms and never getting another grow shroom. I've waited like 4 to 5 days. I've tried waiting till Phase 2, Phase 3, etc. in order to see if it resets, and it doesn't. I believe the game completely limits you to 1 grow shroom per character. Like, once you find it, you never find another one. I don't know for sure if that's the case, but it's absolutely the case in my testing. So now that you know where to get the grow shroom, let's talk about the Rain Man. Oh, and before that, you're probably wondering, well, how do I get the grow shroom into my main account's base? That's easy. Log into your alternate Steam account, add yourself as a friend. So you can see here, I go to friends, and you can see that my friends are my alts. You right-click the name of your alt, you go to friend permissions, and you allow them building and storage access. Then all your alt has to do is walk into your base and then deposit the grow shroom. That's all you gotta do, and you only need to do that a few times. It does not take much time at all. I have a whole video on my channel that shows you how to get to like tier 3 in under 2 hours if you want to do that. And I recommend doing that because the Trent bosses are really good to have, you know, farming for their harvest seed. This potion is amazing for PvP, and I like having 3 of these in my base. I'm only using 2 at the moment, but when Phase 2 opens up, you get 20 deviant cages, so that's really, really nice. Let's talk about the Rain Man now. So the Rain Man is really annoying to get. Now, I got 2 of these, and it took 1 hour of grinding, and that's only after I figured out the proper place to grind. If you are like me and you're Google searching like crazy and asking people, where do you get the Rain Man? How do you get the Rain Man? They're going to tell you, well, you kill the umbrella monsters around the world or in the silos. So I'm like, oh yeah, I can farm that silo. So I spent 2 hours killing the umbrella monster in the silo using my controllers, and nothing dropped because you can't get the Rain Man in the silos. So just a big middle finger to all those stupid gaming clickbaity websites filled with 20 ads that redirect your page, you know, using keywords to show up first in Google. Those damn websites wasted 2 hours of my life. I don't want to waste 2 hours of your life. So the best and fastest and most efficient way to get the Rain Man is as follows. And I have to run back to my territory to teleport. I'm sorry. No, I'm not going to edit this out. That's my channel, raw and real. So Myers Market is the second town you go to. It's level 15. Right down here is the docks. This is the fastest way to farm it. And right about here, where my cursor is the Rain Man. I'm going to just show you a full run. We're going to teleport to Myers Market. And I did put down my little, you know, waypoint marker so that I know where I'm supposed to be driving. But all you got to do as soon as you teleport into town is you're going to, well, we're going to leave through the car here. Here we go. And yes, this car is about to blow up. That's fine. It's okay. It'll make it. Maybe. Should make it. And we're just going to follow our little quest marker out of town here. Which is going to take us to the kind of southwest gate of town. That's fine. Should be able to drive out. No problems, right? Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, okay. Let's just cross the river because it's going to blow up if I don't. Oh, I missed the bridge. Oops. Whatever. So, yeah. This is the full run, guys. And all you gotta do is from town, you go and you kill. It's like an umbrella monster that you kill. And then after you kill the umbrella monster, you drive back to town, you switch worlds, and then you come back and kill it again. Now, if you don't feel like switching worlds for whatever reason, or this video gets insanely super mega turbo popular, which I don't know why it would, but if it does, and everyone's farming this, then you have to wait 15 minutes for this thing to respawn. And I farmed 1 hour, and this is the fastest place to farm it too, by the way. It's the quickest way to drive back to a teleport tower and reset the damn thing, okay? I feel like it's taking me through the back way. That's fine. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. And yeah, so this is the quickest way to do it. I know it still seems a little slow, but we're gonna go to the docks now, right here, past these deviants, and then there's a little umbrella monster, so we're just gonna slam our car into it. As soon as its body appears, we just blast it. And the Deviant Rain Man will be in the loot box, like this blue lootable thing. So it'll be in this list, which I did not get a drop this time. And you can get multiples of these. You don't have to make new accounts or anything. You can simply just kill this over and over and over. It has nothing to do with the umbrella or how you kill it or where you shoot it or how fast you kill it or anything of the sort. Just kill this thing. After 1 hour, you'll get 2 Rain Men, and that's more than enough to basically satiate your base. And that's how to get the Rain Man. That's how to automate it. Let's talk about where to farm all of the good stuff now. I've got every single material on lockdown. Let's go over them. So first up is Mushroom Scarlet Calamus. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Please let me know in the comments. Beast Meat, Rawhide, Yellow Lotus, and Bananas and Coconuts. So where am I at? Hey, remember that mushroom cave we talked about earlier in the video? Hopefully you didn't skip ahead, but if you did, we're going to go over it again. Right here is Myers Market, the second town. Southwest is a teleport tower. So let's first go over mushrooms. Mushrooms are very simple. Just west of this tower, there is a hole in the ground, and I know I'm repeating myself, but people do skip videos. They do skip around. And inside this cave hole, as you go west, you're going to find mushrooms. Tons of Scarlet Calamus. You're going to find lots of beast meat in the form of capybaras, which also have rawhide, and Yellow Lotus. Now, for bananas and coconuts, which there are so many banana trees in this game that do not have bananas on them. But for whatever reason, right next to this teleport tower, there are some banana trees. And if you actually look at the trees, they have actual bananas growing on them. Almost all the banana trees in this game, in Phase 1 at least, the trees do not have bananas. So when you chop these banana trees, you will get bananas. I don't even know if you're supposed to get bananas in Phase 1, but here we are. And also, next to the banana trees, are coconut trees with actual coconuts on them. There are so many coconut trees that don't have coconuts, but for whatever reason, these actually have coconuts. And so you can chop these as well and get coconuts. And if you need to farm bananas and coconuts, you go back to the teleport tower, and then you change worlds, like so. And that will refresh the trees, so you can farm these indefinitely, forever, very, very quickly. Especially if you have a chainsaw, which I should have unlocked, but I don't care. Like, I don't need it. So, there you go. Now, next up is blueberries. So, we're going to go to the teleport tower, of course. And, you'll see here's Securement Silo Sigma. And also, here is Deadsville. If you go west of Deadsville, and the teleport tower in between Deadsville and Securement Silo Sigma is where we want to go. So, this area is insane for blueberries. Blueberries are by far the easiest crop to grow and the most plentiful crop to harvest. So, blueberries are all around the teleport tower. They're all southwest, very far, where my cursor is circling, southwest of the teleport tower. Hell, you can even run between this tower and find tons of blueberries. Let me just show you how many blueberries there are. Right outside of the teleport tower, yes, there's an apple tree, but I have a better place for apples. We have blueberries, we got a little bit of wheat, blueberries, don't worry, and grapes. I've got better places for grapes and blueberry, grapes and wheat, don't worry. Tons and tons of blueberries, though. And then just like down here, there's more blueberries. I don't even need to grab these blueberries. If you go down this tiny little hill, I know it's nighttime. Let's try to get some light going. My brightness is way higher than what you can see on my video, so I'm sorry if the video is very dark. But so many more blueberries. And then if you go back up this ridge and start traveling southwest, back up where the teleport tower is, it is just completely lined with blueberries. There are so many more blueberries. I'm going to pull up the sniper. There's blueberries all along the roads, all the way down for, like, forever, dude. There is just endless blueberry trees here. I don't know if they're trees or bushes. I don't know real life stuff, okay? I just play video games. But essentially, you have an infinite source of blueberries. They respawn so incredibly fast that you do not even need to run back to the tower and switch worlds. You just do a big loop-de-loop along this road here, and you will just be able to run. You'll be able to get like 500 blueberry seeds in like 20 minutes, and you can just have a massive super garden like I had earlier in the video. Now let's talk about apples and grapes. So apples and grapes, we have the Monolith of Greed, and then just north and a little bit west is this teleport tower, which is in between the refinery pollution point, which is in Iron River. So, refinery pollution point and monolith of greed. In between those, go to this teleport tower. This is the only teleport tower in Phase 1 that has 2 apple trees right next to it. So here we are. We have arrived. There's 2 apple trees instead of 1. So this is the fastest way to farm apples. You just chop the tree down, you'll get apples. It's really that simple, right? And there we go. So with a chainsaw, again, you'll chop these immediately. You'll just be getting like hundreds of apples very, very fast. There's also a great bush here. And then on this side, there is a great bush here. And I believe there's a third great bush, but yeah, no, maybe not. Just the 2 great bushes. So you harvest the grapes, you harvest the apples, you switch to another world using the teleport tower, and you will be farmed up lickety-split. Beets are also a huge one because everyone wants to make sugar for whatever reason. So beets are actually near Myers Market. So Myers Market, the second town here towards the south of the map, we're going to teleport to that. And the entire southeast area, all the way almost to the docks, is fully loaded with beets. And it's kind of like the blueberry run, but not nearly as much. So once I've teleported to Myers Market, we're just going to go ahead and go southeast out of town, preferably out of one of the gates, but I decided to pull a car out for some reason. And yeah, let's just climb over the wall here. There we go. And so we're southeast. There's a lot of other stuff too. You can grab some corn, but mostly beets. This is the best beet farm in the game. There's better corn spots. I'm going to show you the best way to get corn. And yeah, so we're just going to run southeast. And again, there's corn. You know, grab the corn if you want. And just so many beets. There's also wheat. There's just a lot of things on this little path here. But essentially, this entire little area where my cursor is circling, up to about this little quest marker here, is just beets galore. And someone could have run this, because I swear there's supposed to be more beets. It's also nighttime, so it's a little harder to see. But there's some blueberries there too. But just keep going down a little bit more. There's plenty of beets in that center island. There's plenty of beets over here. And yeah, it does require a little bit of walking, but they respawn so dang fast. So let's just cross over real quick. And let's see. Yeah, someone has grabbed the beets. Someone is grabbing all the beets. So if that's the case, and it usually is the case, you just swap worlds, and then the beets will be respawned. No, I don't want to collect the dirty water. I was trying to summon the car. But I'm just going to go ahead and drive along the path here, because surely they didn't get all of them. But beets respawn incredibly fast. Here's a bunch of beets. There we go. Just park the car on top of a tin node. Yeah, we're going to grab the beets. And then here's the quest guy. There's more beets. And then what I do is I loop around kind of this way. And there's more beets. Kind of along the little swampy, flooded areas here. And yeah, so this is by far the quickest place I found for beets. And you get some other stuff too, so it's nice to just kind of stock up. But yeah, that's beets. Just run the path. Sorry I didn't show you a full run. It looks like someone yoinked most of them. I would have gotten at least 10 to 12 more plants already if not for other players. But just to reiterate, and it looks like Phase 2 just started on my server, I run down this way, and then I curve around and go back this way. And there's just beets everywhere, man. They're just all over the floor. Especially like close to the water, close to the little island, little thingies and stuff, and you're just gonna get so many beets. And once you have so many beets, you can just start growing them. They grow relatively quick. And yeah, there's like some potatoes there, but I've got a better spot for potatoes, so I'll show you. Next up is pork, coneflower, sage, orange, and hawthorn. Also, I want to mention that the beets area is where you would also get like crocodile meat, but surely there's a better place in Phase 2. There's not much use for crocodile meat in Phase 1. Anyway. So, where we are going is we are going to be going west of the, no, not that one. We're going to be going west of the Monolith of Greed, and we're going to be kind of in between Holt Town, I'm sorry, Highland and Holt Town. There is a teleport tower with a nice little road here. Let's go ahead and take that. And it's just kind of along the road here. This farm isn't really the best, but if you need pork and boars, this is my kind of go-to. And so, right around here, right around this road, I'm just gonna circle it like I go north, and then I just kind of go up and down this road, and that's where everything is going to be mostly located. So, again, there might be a better hawthorn spot, but I just haven't found it. So there's hawthorn, There's cone flour. You can pick these and reset at the tower. And I mostly use this as a silver farm, but that is a whole separate video which I'll go over on the channel. So if you want the best silver farm in phase 1, again, there's more cone flour right there. Then you can subscribe. We got more cone flowers right here on the road. You can see it's just loaded with cone flowers, okay? And there was one little thing of mushrooms over there. There's some more hawthorn. Again, I wish I could find a better hawthorn spot that's near a teleporter, but there's still hawthorn bushes over here. There's orange, and yeah, there's plenty of boars to kill. Lots of boars for easy rawhide. And then I just kind of spin the car around this direction, and there's some sage there, some more cone flour. That's pumpkins. I've got a better spot for pumpkins. There's more oranges here, and yes, I know there's an entire area of the game with orange trees. And yes, there's silver here, so again, this is the best place for silver. I'm going to talk about that in a separate video, because silver has nothing to do with gardening, so it doesn't really work for a YouTube video. But don't mind me, maybe I'll get a Digby boy. Probably not, though. That'd be really swell if I did. Anyway, so yeah, come here for sage, orange, hawthorn, and cone flour. I've got another sage spot kind of sorted too. I'll show you that. So pumpkin, corn, wheat, and saffron is next. Alright, so we're going to go, again, to take the teleport tower. And this is in the Iron River area. And let's see here. So we have, this won't appear on your map in phase 1, okay? Phase 2 just started. I'm late on filming this. But we do have Greywater Camp, and if you go east, you're going to run into something called the Ricky Securement Point. And then south, I'm sorry, a little bit west of that is a teleport tower, and then you have this little area, Winding Ridge Farmland. That's where we're headed. So we're going to take this teleportation tower, and the first thing up is saffron. Now, saffron's pretty hard to find until you go into some certain kind of areas, but the quickest way to farm saffron is right at this teleportation tower, and just north of it, I believe, or east. Let me check my source again. I have this all in MS Paint. So, it says it's north. So, yeah, north. Someone must have yoinked it already, but there is saffron. There is supposed to be, yeah, there's, no, that's not saffron. There is supposed to be saffron just north, unless they've changed the spawns. I'm going to switch, oh, wait, here it is. It's, yeah, a little bit northeast. Northeast of the teleport tower is a couple saffrons, so you would yoink those bad boys, and they're pretty rare. Like I said, they're a little harder to find, and then you reset the teleport tower, okay? Next up is the wheat and the corn and the pumpkin, which, yes, okay, so we're going to go to the farm now. That is southwest, and this is one of my favorite grind spots for Cortexes. That's a separate video, and wow, I summoned the car in a dumb spot. I also repaired the car. There's a little bit more saffron down there too, but it's not as quick because you have to go down a hill, which means you got to run back up the hill to reset the area, and that sucks. So let's go over the pumpkin, corn, and wheat now. So this is corn, easy. You just run through here. There's a bunch of corn to yoink. There's another corn spot too. I'm going to show you that one. It's a little bit better than this, but this is just a few little things of corn. Not too bad. And then right next to it, there is some wheat. Sometimes there's more wheat here. This time, not so much. Let me just double check my notes. And then pumpkins are going to be south of this. And again, we got more wheat here. And there's another spot for corn and wheat that I'm going to show you along with potatoes. So I mostly use this area as a mob grind for Cortexes and enemy drops and XP. So you would just combine that farm with this, but that's a separate video. Don't worry about it. We also have a little bit of sage here. I didn't mention this on the top of the screen. So little bonus for you guys that are not just, thumbing through my videos. I like to reward you guys. Anyway, here's the pumpkin patch. So we have a pumpkin patch. Lots and lots of pumpkins. Just go ahead and yoink them all off the ground. And so, yeah, really, really good farm spot for those guys. I'm going to show you the next farm now. Oh, and I also forgot to mention honeysuckle. I don't know what honeysuckle is used for, but here's that teleport tower again. Here's the Winding Ridge Farm, and just east of it, right here, there is like 1, 2, like 3, 4, 5, 6 honeysuckle. There's also a little bit of bellflower. I haven't really found a use for these yet, but hey, there you go. And now we have wheat, corn, potatoes, and more pumpkin. So right down in here in the first kind of area of the game, the Dayton Wetlands, we have the Monolith of Greed. If you go kind of slightly northeast, we have this teleport tower right here. And our objective is to get to the Rippleby Market. So I'm going to teleport to this tower here. It's super close. And this is one of the better farms, I think, for these items, especially wheat and potatoes. Corn, it's decent as well. But yeah, we're just gonna drive right over there. And yes, I am showing you the full route because people will get confused or lost if I don't. There's always that one comment that is like, I can't find this place, or I don't know how to get there. And so I'm just showing you exactly where to go. And have you guys ever seen other videos on this game that they're like showing off where to like get something and they don't even open their map? Oh my goodness, that bugs me so much. And I want to make sure that I'm giving you as much details as possible. But anyway, here in this little corner here, so right here on the map, this first little square, we have corn, we have potatoes, we have wheat, and there's a lot of it. Look at all the potatoes and wheat and corn. Oh boy, it's just all right here, nice and compact. And yes, we're just, you know, I don't need this stuff. I'm just showing you that that's what you would do. You would yoink it all up off the ground. Now, if we go southeast from that square down to this little square I'm about to touch down on, which is right in here. It's a little bit harder to see, but there's more wheat here, and it's kind of blended in with the field color. But you run around here, and there's actually supposed to be more wheat, but I think a player might have yoinked all of it. But I got at least 3, 4, 5, 6 here. Yeah, so this is like 6 more wheat. So again, big wheat farm. And then finally, if we go north from this box, so we're going north to this little tiny box on the top right corner, and that's going to be your pumpkins. That's going to be your second source of pumpkins, which, you know, I like the other spot for pumpkins, but this one's just as good. It's also a lower level zone because that area that I showed you, also there's some potatoes along the way. You might as well yoink them. But yeah, lots and lots of pumpkins. Go ahead and make those pumpkin porridges or whatever it is you're making pumpkins for. I'm not even really sure. But yeah, there you go. That's a whole bunch of good stuff, lads. Also, I just want to point out that the harvesting sickle does not work. This thing, it just doesn't work. It says it has a 20% chance to double the amount of plants you gather. This has never procced a single time for me, okay? And there's another one, gardening gloves to get double seeds. It used to work, and now it doesn't work. And I don't know if it's just like the server I'm on, or I don't know what's going on. But like none of these gardening things work. So if you get them as your memetics, and you want to be like the planter for your hive or warband or guild, clan, whatever you want to call it, just don't, man. It's really not worth doing, man. Also, this has nothing to do with gardening, but rabbit meat, especially if you want that rabbit deviant. There is a heart-shaped island all the way to the east called in the Dayton Wetlands. This heart-shaped island is flooded with only rabbits and nothing else, so go hunt rabbits there. And finally, the secret peppercorn. Now, people are like, where's peppercorn? I can't find peppercorn. Please help me find peppercorn. What is peppercorn? Why do you want peppercorn? Peppercorn is used in a recipe to double acid drops from enemies. And to find peppercorn, you have to find bunkers, okay? And there's 2 that I know of. There might be more in Phase 1, but these are the only ones that I know of. So, here is Securement Silo Sigma, and just northeast is a abandoned hideout, and right here on this little area, there is an underground bunker. You're forced to go here for the storyline to fight a Shadow Tree boss. Inside the bunker, if you kill everything and loot everything, you should get a peppercorn seed. Yes, 1 seed. The next bunker that I know of is all the way up here, kind of towards this watery-like little area here. And that is the Secret Harbor, and just west of the Secret Harbor is another bunker. And this bunker is like the hardest boss, the hardest open world boss in all of Phase 1. So this thing will shred your health if you aren't careful and you aren't geared. But inside there, if you loot everything, there is a chance to get a peppercorn. And so you want to kind of start growing and getting peppercorns as soon as possible. So as soon as Phase 2 hits, you can start making the acid drop rate food. There you go. So why would you want to grow or harvest anything in the first place? Well, you can make a lot of really good food. Like, for instance, as soon as Tier 2 pops up, which it just did on my server, you can start making orange pies. This is just instant energy and hydration and bonus XP, but you should be level 50 by now. I joined the server super late, so I'm only level 45. It's my second day on the server. And I have a video out on my channel on how to level up super quickly. But you can see here that this is just 1 banana, 1 apple, and 1 grape. Easy to farm stuff. And you can make an infinite amount of these to level up. Just crafting 1 of these. Okay. And, hello, game. It should be complete. What? My server's lagging or something. But yeah, just crafting one orange pie gave me 13 XP, okay? 13 XP, I can craft 99 of these times 5 times 20 stoves. Bro, you're just gonna be swimming in XP as soon as phase 2 hits. There's so many other things. Now cabbage, this is deviated cabbage, don't worry about that. You got pumpkin porridge, bread, corn, soup, you know, blueberry soda. This is the one that I tried. I really tried hard to make this work because this food doesn't decay. I'm still gonna make them though. And yeah, so there's a lot of things. Canned seafood and oil is morel. I don't know where morel is currently at. This is phase 2 only. I have not found this in phase 1. So I'm still working on that. Look forward to a phase 2 video if this video does well. Alright, aloe, that's phase 2. We have hawthorn berry, blueberries, I taught you how to get those. Fruit sanity capsule, that's deviated beet. We have mushrooms, you know where to get, well, deviated. Again, a lot of these are deviated. Peppercorns, here we go. Preserved deviated chops. Used to increase acid gain by 50% when defeating deviants. Canned meat, now, I've taught you where to get gator meat, pork, beast meat, and you know, all the other regular meats like deer meat and stuff. You know, deer are everywhere. I don't need to teach you where to get deer. All right, and you know where to get shellfish that are against every beach. Okay, and you know how to get sugar. You get sugar from beets, so you know how to get beets. So you can hex enemies when you attack them. And there's a whole bunch of recipes, but they're all in phase 2. I gotta go get them, and they're pretty darn useful. But that's about it for phase 1 for gardening, so now you know, and if you want to be a gardener, well, it'll look something like this. But, I mean, you're kind of just better off doing it manually, because getting the grow shrooms and using alt accounts and getting these damn rain, man. You know, I'd rather have Digby boys on my base, but I have an alt with all the Digby boys kind of just chomping away down here, and, with that said, please leave a like on the video. It really helps out. I'm just a YouTuber. I'm just a gamer like you. I'm not some stupid corporate entity like those other channels. You know, all professional and stuff with an editing team, dude. No, I'm just a guy like you. I'm just a regular gamer, and I make these videos so that a future version of myself and you guys will have the info easy and ready to access anytime you need it, so that, you know, years later, if this game's still around and you're like, hey, I want to play this game again, but where do I find this stuff? We have it cataloged, it's all here, and it's ready to be consumed, I guess. I don't know. The point is that, like, I hate when I play a game and then 10 years later I forget how to play the damn game, and that's the whole reason I became a YouTuber, is so I could just kind of catalog all the stuff that I've learned playing the games, so that I don't forget years later when I may need that information again. But with that said, too, you know, just click the video on the right side of your screen, and if you don't, the lines at the grocery store will be longer than normal or something. I don't know.